Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dakota Fundraising News Podcast. It is Friday, the 17th of January. Super pumped to be back, Pat. We were just chatting about recent restaurants we've been to. Mon, you were just at last night, Cambodian place out in Philly. How was it?
Unbelievable. Yeah, Mon was, instead of doing Michelin stars in Philly, the Inquirer does the 76 restaurants that make Philly, and they do 76 best restaurants, and it was actually the number one this year. So
Nice.
Pretty hard to get a table at. Luckily, you and I actually both went together, but
Yeah.
I've had a chance to go 4 times last year, and now it's impossible to get a table, so I probably won't be going 4 times this year, but delicious nonetheless.
2 places I've been trying to get into here in Philly. Royal Izakaya and the Omakase. If anybody has an in, let me know. I'm trying every single day. And then there's a new spot, French place called Provenance. That I've been trying to get into. Any new places that you've been looking at?
Tabachoy. I'm really into the spicy cuisine right now. It's sort of warming me up in these winter months. Maybe this could be actually a fun new segment. A lot of the people listening into this call are salespeople on the road. We could call out, hey, if you're going to Boston, check out row 34 in the Back Bay. If that's something that you all be interested in, let us know, because I love it. And what if one day we get to the point where we can get paid to go and try new restaurants?
That's the dream, isn't it? If you guys are traveling to Philly for whatever reason, for meetings and whatnot, Tabachoy, Mon, Royal Izakaya, if you can get in, Provenance, tons of good eateries out here in Philly.
If you're traveling for meetings, you can't get into any of those 4 restaurants, but there's plenty of other ones that we can share.
Pat, secondaries, Ardian, I think we have some recent findings from them. Why don't you let us know what's been going on there?
Yeah, very exciting. This just was announced this morning. Ardian, obviously a very large firm that everyone's familiar with. They have raised $30 billion for their 9th secondaries fund. That is the largest secondaries fund ever. I actually had the chance to meet and hear from Mark DeBenedetti, I believe is his last name. He's the head of Ardian US in the IPIM conference in France last summer. They had one of their biggest ever fundraising years in 2023. And, shameless plug here, they do use Dakota Marketplace. So that's exciting. And we obviously aren't taking an ounce of credit for it, but just a fun little thing to call out there. A big win for one of our subscribers and a firm we know well.
Awesome. Kicking us off with some job changes, staying on the international side of things. We've been doing our best over the past 2 years, covering internationally in Dakota Marketplace and on our podcast. But this is coming out of a pension out in Stockholm, Sweden. AP2 is what they're referred as, Andra AP Fonden Fund. They have a CIO appointment. So Anna Hammer has been appointed as the new CIO, succeeding Eric Kallert, assuming the position this spring.
Yeah, one thing to call out there too, not to steal too much thunder from our events segment, but we just decided this morning that we will be at Super Return Berlin this year, Dakota, that is.
I didn't even know that. I'm finding out right now.
We literally found out this morning. I'm jazzed because I've always wanted to go to Berlin, and it does sound like I will be headed there. So that's fun. I'll keep my European conference summer streak alive. So very exciting. Obviously, I know Stockholm is not super close to Berlin, but if you are over there, look out for us. That is in June.
Awesome. I'll keep going here on the job changes for now, but Michael Meechan, he's left Ladenburg Asset Management, joining Hollowbrook Wealth as their director of investments. This is a multifamily office out in upstate New York. We also have Betty Chen leaving Rockefeller Endowment, joining the J. Paul Getty Trust as their director of research. I was literally looking at their Form 990 this morning, actually. And then Marina Camerata has left Mills College Endowment, moving over to the Northeastern University as VP of optimization. If that's the Boston University, they denied my college application.
No way. Well, Drexel was lucky to have you. Yeah. But let's jump into the RIA M&A activity. They would have denied mine as well. But Focus Financial Partners, we've talked about them a ton. This is a little bit different. So Focus has announced that some firms in their network are going to be joining SCS. So that is Lake Street Advisor Group and Edge Capital Group, as well as Focus Partners Family Office and OCIO. That transaction is expected to close in the first quarter of this year. It will enable those firms to access, SCS's deep investment management capabilities and extended family office services. Lake Street based in Portsmouth, New Jersey, Edge Capital based in Atlanta. So really exciting. 70 folks going to be joining SCS. LPL, which we talk about all the time, they've made a move relatively local to us, actually, Morristown, New Jersey. Larry Forleza and Carl Hanks have joined the LPL platform and custodial platform. They're jumping over from Raymond James, where they manage $430 million in client assets. Then I'll just go ahead and keep rolling. I feel like I'm in a good flow right now. If you disagree, let us know. But Gibraltar Capital Management, that's a firm we have certainly never said here on the podcast. So exciting news coming out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of country singer Zach Bryan. Gibraltar Capital Management has announced that they'll be acquiring a Dallas-based firm that is Miller Equity Capital Advisors, MECA. They have roughly $362 million in AUM. That will put Gibraltar over $1 billion in client assets, and really just stays with the theme of RIA, merger and acquisition activity. The buying assets approach is working. Sewerage proved it. LPL proved it. Everyone else is proving it and following suit. So I'm sure more and more to come on that side.
Awesome. Yeah. Love that you called out Gibraltar. You might not be an allocator if you're listening in, but if you're a smaller emerging manager or something, you guys have some news insights that you want us to share. We get, 200-ish views a week on the podcast, probably, looking to try to increase engagement there this year. And then on the website side of things, we get thousands of views on our fundraising news that we publish on our website. So anything you guys have, fund closings, fund launches, personnel changes, feel free to let either of us know at our emails. We'll jump into searches, but I did just want to give a quick consultant update on the last podcast. If you guys listened in, we had a number of consultant changes. This one is coming out of Weld County Retirement Plan. They manage a little under $500 million in assets. Innovest has been selected as their new consultant, replacing CapTrust. CapTrust was their previous general consultant. Callan was also considered there as well. So if you had any ties with Weld, just know that Innovest is now their consultant to reach out to. Back to searches, though, we did have one active RFP for private credit that we sent out in the past day or two. This one's coming out of the $42 billion Indiana Public Employees Retirement System. They're looking to allocate $1.4 billion to the asset class. Deadline for this one is going to be February 24th of this year. So you got a little over a month there. Just to read a little bit of the additional information provided here. They're going to be looking for qualified firms for opportunistic credit mandates, anticipating hiring 2 or 3 opportunistic credit managers. So that $1.4 billion, looking to allocate that between 2 or 3 managers, as I mentioned there. Expected that the chosen strategies will be benchmarked against blended high yield and leveraged loan indices. It's a mouthful, but you can find all of that in Dakota Marketplace. And then I had a couple of search updates here. And then we had an upcoming search here coming out of the Cambridge Retirement System $1.6 billion retirement fund. They are preparing a value add real estate manager search here in 2025. They use Siegel Markle as their consultant. We have some search finalists for an international growth equity search. This one is for the Oklahoma Police Pension Retirement. 3 finalists for this search are going to be...
Good luck.
You need to help me with that one.
That is Chautauqua International Growth.
Yep.
I don't know if I pronounced that correct.
Yes, we got Chautauqua International Growth. Hopefully we're pronouncing that firm correctly. We should probably learn more about them if you and I aren't familiar.
Yeah, that is owned by Baird. So
gotcha.
Easier to
Awesome.
just say Baird.
Cool.
Quick Google there.
The other 2 finalists for that one's going to be Harding Loevner and then William Blair. And then since I'm on a roll, just last quick update from City of Holyoke Retirement Board. On the last podcast, we just called out a new U.S. large cap value search for them. I think they're looking to allocate $20 million, if I remember correctly. But they had a value add real estate search late last year. They did come to a conclusion for that one. They're allocating $10 million to TerraCap Partners 6 and $7.5 million to Long Wharf Fund 6.
I'll jump into our investment section. Los Angeles Fire and Police Pension System, obviously an allocator that everyone knows well. They've made a handful of recent commitments here. I'm looking at 7, so bear with me. I will run through all of these. Sometimes we do them abridged. But first, they've made an investment to the Banks Fund, that is Fund 2, with a private equity growth firm, $50 million. To Court Square Capital Partners 5, middle market buyout, $75 million. GTCR, Strategic Growth 2, that is a growth equity fund, $30 million. Rivian Capital Fund, they are a international firm, so that is 46 million euro, roughly 47.2 million US. TPG Growth, it's a firm we talk about all the time, good friend of the firm. That is obviously the private equity growth strategy over there, 75 million. Trive Capital Fund 5, lower middle market, $75 million. And then changing up all of those I just mentioned, private equity, one private credit direct lending fund to talk about Locust Point Private Credit Fund 3, a $30 million allocation. Let's jump down to Baltimore. Little known secret for everyone who's made it to this length of the podcast. I am actually a Ravens fan. I'm a secret undercover Ravens fan that also roots for the Eagles, but grew up in Ocean City, Maryland. So very exciting. But they have made one recent commitment I want to call out, Digital Alpha Fund 3, and that is the Howard County Master Trust. They use NEPC as their consultant.
Nice. Last one here, we have a quick update from Dockside Platforms, which is an institutional managed account platform led by Michael Jordan, not to be mistaken with Michael Jordan, number 23.
Yeah, this is the Morgan Stanley MJ.
The Morgan Stanley MJ. They're also, Dockside Platforms is also backed by State of Wisconsin Investment Board and a major Texas endowment, not sure which one, I don't think it was disclosed. But Dockside Platforms are reporting that they secured $125 million in commitments so far for its second fund that they launched in the summer of 2023.
Yeah, and Dockside, if you're not familiar, they are a unit of Walleye Capital, which is a Minnesota-based hedge fund.
Nice.
Let's talk a little bit about fundraising updates. Again, if you've made it this far in the podcast, we thank you for the continued support. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share this too. We never ask for shares, so give it a share. Dubin Clark has reported on January 14th that they raised $200 million at the first close of their small business fund. They actually only recently were approved to do the SBIC, so exciting to see them already successful with that. They are based in Boston, so let's jump just totally across the country to Seattle. Timberlane Partners has planned to launch their second closed-end multifamily real estate fund. They're aiming $200 million. That would be double the Fund 1, which was right around $100 million. Minimum investment set at $250,000. So very excited for that. And then, Konch, I'll let you close out the episode today, but we'll just talk a little bit first. Bertram Capital Management has secured $260 million in investor commitments for their middle market fund, Ignite. Again, we were just talking about this recently, but JLL has JLL Spark, Bertram has Ignite. It's fun, hearing all these little names. And they have received some investments from Houston Firefighters Relief Retirement Fund, which is exciting. And you can obviously see more about that in Dakota Marketplace and Dakota Research as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's it for the pod. I think any upcoming events, Pat, I'm not too clued in right now. I know we had LA rescheduled a little bit. I think we have that on the docket for February 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. The upcoming events, February 4th, LA, Beverly Hills Hotel, Park City will be at the Spur, March 20th. And then we just added this one, Park House in Dallas, February 26th. If you haven't been to Park House, it is unbelievable. So check it out.
And then it sounds like Pat will be at the Super Return.
I'll be at Super Return Berlin.
What month is that?
That is June 4th to 6th. June
4th, you'll find Pat in Berlin. And this Sunday, you will find us maybe in the Lincoln Financial Field parking lot.
Yeah, or M&T Bank.
Or M&T Bank. I have nothing else, Pat, besides a little Go Birds for the Philly fans. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Dakota Marketplace. Are you tired of constantly jumping between multiple databases and channels to find the right investment opportunities? Introducing Dakota Marketplace, the comprehensive institutional and intermediary database built by fundraisers for fundraisers. With Dakota Marketplace, you'll have access to all channels and asset classes in one place, saving you time and streamlining your fundraising process. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching through multiple databases, websites, Form ADVs, and say hello to a seamless and efficient fundraising experience. Sign up now and see the difference Dakota Marketplace can make for you. Visit dakota.com/Dakota-Marketplace today.